Welcome to this channel. In this video, I will take you through a step-by-step process of how to set up standard and custom events on your Facebook pixel. So those of you that may not know, Facebook standard or custom events are ways of you being able to measure when an action is taken on your website. An action could be what? A purchase. It could be add to cart, initiate checkout, add to wish list, and all of that. So when you come to the ad manager, and then you come to your left hand side, you will see the event manager. So you open the event manager. Currently, I am in the event manager. When you come to event manager, by default, you will be under this preview. Okay, so if your pixel is connected, if you have any data set or any pixel connected, it will show under the data sets. So currently I have one pixel that is connected. If your pixel is not connected, you will need to connect your pixel first before you can set up your standard or custom event. And I have done a video earlier on how to connect your pixel to your website. You can check that video in the description of this particular video. There's a link there. You can follow that link and watch that video. Okay, now let's proceed. If you have set up the pixel already and you want to now set up your custom and standard events, I will explain the two so that you understand how each of them is done. When we talk about standard events are typically the events that are standard in nature, and then we all know that, okay, if we say purchase, we typically when we say purchase, it means that someone clicking on buy a product on an e-commerce website, initiating checkout, and getting to the last part where he or she will enter the payment details, and then it will take them to the thank you page after the payment is confirmed. That is basically what we call a purchase. However, in the case of custom event, we will need to define what we mean or what name we are giving to that particular event. And if we say purchase in a custom event, a purchase may not necessarily be somebody buying something on our website. Okay, that is what the custom events are about. It may not necessarily be somebody buying and making a payment, but it could be what? Somebody submitting a form. We can call it a purchase in our own terms. So in order to define it the way you want, you have to set it up as a what? Custom event and not a standard event. So first of all, I'm going to show you what the standard events are, and we will proceed to also what? Set up custom event. Now we are starting with a standard event. So to set up a standard event, when you come to your pixel, you come to settings. From the settings, you will see event setup tool. So you click on this. I want to open it in a new tab. So let me duplicate this tab before I can open that in a new tab. So I'm opening up the event setup tool. So you have to put your website link there or your landing page link in the event setup tool. So this is the landing page link. So when you put it, you click on add events. So it will take you to the landing page or the page where you want your customers to be taken to when they click on your advert. Okay, so when you get to this page, you will see track new button and track URL. You can either track a button or track a URL. So for example, if I want to track anyone who clicks on a certain button, I'll have to first of all, if that particular button is on this page, I'll first of all click on what? Track new button. So this is one of the buttons. So I can select this button if this is what I want, and then name it, give it the name I want. However, for the purpose of this video, I want to track a URL. So the URL I want to track is if somebody tries to make a purchase. Now, and when I say somebody tries to make a purchase, this particular form has been designed in such a way that when somebody fills a form and submits, they do payment on delivery. It's not something that they must pay before the thing is delivered to them. So that is why I was earlier on saying that when somebody fills this form, we can call it a purchase, but it's not a typical purchase under e-commerce terms, but it is a purchase under our terms. So if we want to set it up as a standard event, we will I can just fail. This one I'm testing. Okay, and then when I come here and then click on submit, okay, so it's saying one or more fields have not been filled. So the name, number, okay, WhatsApp number. So I'm submitting it. So you see, when I submit a purchase or fill the form and submit, it takes me to this particular part. If I am setting it up as a standard event, I will now come, I want to track this URL so that anyone who comes to this URL, I will name it as a purchase, because I know that unless somebody fills the form, the person will not come to the thank you page. So to set put this, to set this up as a standard event, I have to come and click on what track URL. So the system will automatically track the URL of this page. And then I will now click on what select event. So add to cart, initiate checkout, lead. So I can decide to call it a name I want to call it. So for example, though a typical standard event should have been involving somebody buying and making a purchase. In this case, it's not a typical standard event, but I still want to set it up as a what? Standard event. Yeah, so I will select that it's a purchase. If you want to be able to track your return on investments, you can indicate how much a purchase, the value of a purchase to you. So you can choose the value on the page, or use the value from initiate checkout. That is why I was saying this one is not a typical purchase event, because if it were a typical purchase event, for example, if it is, let me just show you this one. If it's a typical purchase event, when we are talking about using the figure on the checkout page, you see, let's say I want to buy this one. This is the checkout. Okay, so the sum, the total amount is shown here. So when I say it should use the page, the figure or the number on this checkout page, it will use this figure. So I can now what click on. So you see this one, I can place an order and I'm supposed to pay for it, because when I click on place order, I can pay with my debit card or credit card. You see, however, in this particular case, this one is not a typical standard event. Okay, but I am only trying to demonstrate it to you. So if I am setting it up as a standard event, I will just come here. So because there's no figure, is because it doesn't have a checkout, I'll just come here and click on what don't include any value, and then click on what confirm. But if you are the type that your own is a typical e-commerce, just like this one, the person will need to confirm, put their details, their debit card or their mobile money number, and make payment. You will let them, you will have to complete the process and then track the thank you page where the receipt will be indicated. Okay, you have to track that URL. Okay, so in this case, I am still setting it up as a standard event. So I'll click on what confirm. So the event is set up. If I have any other event, like I want to track other buttons or other URLs, I can track all of them. When everything is done, then you come and click on what finish setup, and then you finish. So you see, I have set up standard events for my page. Okay, so we are done with the setup of the standard event. I now want to create a custom event so that you see how that one also works. Now when you come back to the event manager, okay, when you come back to the event manager, when you look at your top left hand side, like below the data set, you see custom conversions. So custom conversions, you come and click on what create custom conversion. I already have a custom conversion. I'm not going to create this one. So you will name it the way you like. So for example, if I want, I can put what purchase, then I'll add the name of the product, so that if I have many custom conversions, I'll be able to use this one to know that this is what this particular event is about. So I can just make purchase um, um, So I can do it this way. So for example, let's say I'm selling a product relating to what, diabetes, and I want to know that if somebody makes a purchase on for this particular product, then I'll be able to detect it. I think, let me just go back. Okay, so it's like it just something interrupted, so I'm just starting the process again. So when you come here and click on create custom conversions, you put a name, say purchase, then, or let me just put a dash, let's say diabetes supplement, and make it this way. Okay, so that's the name of the event. I can come here and add a URL I want to track. So for example, I want that anyone who gets to the thank you page, that person will be tracked as what, having purchased the diabetes food supplement. So if I am okay, so normally make sure that the URL you are tracking contains, we have contains, equals, or doesn't match, indicate contains. So in that case, what it means is that whether it is something like slash thank you, or you see that after the thank you there is a slash. So whether that slash comes or doesn't come, it will still record that it contains the URL we are looking for. Okay, so always indicate what contains, because there may be some certain slight variations of the URL. If you don't add the contains and you just do equals, sometimes there certain purchases will happen, but you will not be able to track them because maybe there may be a slight variation, such as a slash being added or not being added. Okay, so when you do that and you click on what, create. In my case, I've already created the purchase event I want, the custom purchase event or conversion. So I don't need to create another one again. So if you see here, you see that it says it is tracking all URLs that anyone that access the thank you page URL, it will record the person as conversion. So if you come here, you see that this advert, it says when you are now setting it up, I have chosen what, that particular event. So if I open it up like this, you will see that in the at the ad setup level, the event I choose is what, purchase new. So if you see the number of purchases, it means it is referring to this particular event I selected here. So let me just show you. So if you check here, you see 14 purchases, 14. So the 14 purchases are all those that bought the product, or at least they filled the form and access the landing page. That is exactly what it means. If you follow this step-by-step process, you will be able to set up standard and custom conversions or custom event. If you have any issue and you may need my help, you can leave your comments in the comment section, and you can follow the WhatsApp or Telegram link to contact me in the video description. You can also contact me and let me help you set up your ad campaigns and do it more and more effectively. I am a Facebook, Instagram, and Google ad expert. I'm also an SEO specialist and a web developer. Any of these, any service related to digital marketing, we can help you get excellent services, excellent results, and be able to move your business well online. Thank you for watching once again, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.